Oh, what is that? I need to start having a minute when I get in. Can't keep doing this. Rushing to get on now. It's not going anywhere. Is it? Oh, I don't do too much shit. Right, move your rubbish, scissors, everything. These on the floor, keep the cups in, please.
It's yucky. I'm wiping up the baby bumblebee. Oh, my mommy, she's so kind. I'm wiping up the baby bumblebee. Look, mommy, all clean.
Followed by another.
Yeah.
And another. Until you wake up refreshed.
What is the best advice you've ever heard or received?
Spend so much time on self-improvement that you have no time to criticize others.
Trees don't hang around with the grass, even though they all started from the same place.
If you're a friend of everybody, you're an enemy to yourself.
There's no losing, only learning. There's no failure, only opportunities. And there's no problems, only solutions.
I didn't fail, I fell. And as long as I get up, I win.
If you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start.
The fact that it is painful is the reason that it's working.
Never say never. Because limits, like fears, are often just an illusion. Thank you very much.
What you do frequently becomes your frequency. So, if you want to know your life, look at your habits. That's what you do frequently, right? And they add up to a rhythm. That rhythm becomes a pattern. That pattern becomes your character. That character becomes your life. You're not going to be able to break out of it until you change something about who you are.
I love the mentality that I'm just beating my competitors silently where they don't even know it. They're out partying, I'm out here getting ahead. Whenever I get to a low point where I think, why do I even bother? I just remind myself, this is when most people stop, and this is why they don't win. Hard feels shitty. This is what hard feels like, and this is why most people can't do it, but you can.
He's the biggest man I've ever seen. I wouldn't want to fight him.
That's why no one will remember your name.
You need to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, in uncomfortable scenarios, okay? If you do easy things, you will have a hard life. If you do hard things, you will have an easy life. Let me say it again. If you do easy things, you will have a hard life. If you do hard things, you will have an easy life. As a man, you have to understand that we as men, we do better in environments where we are uncomfortable, okay? You put pressure on a rock, it turns into a diamond. You being in uncomfortable situations will bring the best out of you.
Don't make excuses. Some of the best athletes, the greatest athletes in the world, do things when they're uncomfortable. It's the best people who can overcome when they're tired, sore.
What is your deepest fear, young man?
Why I keep saying that? What's your deepest fear? What that mean?
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same, as we are liberated from our own fear. Our presence automatically liberates others. Sir, I just want to say thank you. You saved my life.
You're always afraid to take the first step because all you see is every negative thing 10 miles down the road. You can do anything you want. You are bound by nothing. What are you passionate about?
What do you want?
Just get started. The longest time in the world is the hesitation between thought and action. Some of you just don't understand. Some of you have been average for so damn long, you don't know what it is to do hard work. That ain't you, bro. That ain't you. So I sat there on that couch and I realized, man, I am a piece of shit. And even though the world helped me get here, my false reality helped me even more. And it wasn't like someone came around and said, hey, man, you can do this. This is all me. I had to stop thinking normal. I had to stop thinking normal. I can no longer be a common man walking around doing common things.
If you even have this much savage in you, everything out there is for the taking. If you are willing to go out there and grind and work hard, you know, you got these people that don't want to go to work, they want to stay home, and these people that don't want to, stay home, man, and do your thing. Good luck to you. I wish you all the luck in the world. There's going to be a small group of hungry savages out there that are going to run every one of you over.
The worst prison in the world is having the talent and intelligence to achieve something great, but lacking the courage to go out and do it.
It doesn't matter about the past. It's today. What are we doing today? What are we going to engage now? And once we engage, we commit. There's no half commitment. There's no quarter commitment. There's no three-quarter. It's full commitment. Once we engage, it's every day we engage. Set a time to train at that time. Set a time to go to sleep at that time. Set a time to get up at that time. Don't tell yourself you need to do something and then don't do it. That's what I was talking about with Ariel. I knew in my head I was saying, get up at this time. I didn't get up at that time. Train at this time. I didn't train at that time. Don't eat this. I ate that. Don't drink that. I drank it. And these all just infiltrate my mental strength. Has Limescale turned your bathroom into a...
Yeah, mate. 1 sec, hang on. That's what I was afraid of happening. Me fucking music going off. Hang on, mate. Is it gonna have to give me a second? Hang on. Right, hello. Let me do this. Come on, you fucker, you better look. Anyway, good afternoon. How are you doing? Right, let me do this. How you doing? I like listening to stuff like that because, like I said, it's like food for your brain in a way. Rather than like sometimes you just need to switch off and lock yourself in a room for 20 minutes. And yeah, I listen to certain things that I take notes and, you know, I watched the video this morning. One of my mates, he's copied one of my lines, you know, where people say, oh yeah, I'd die for my family. I'd die for my kids, but would you live for them? Would you live for them? Never mind you die for them, live for them. That's all you need to do, is learn to, you know what I mean? Like when I was a young man, I wanted to be a gangster, a villain. And now all I want to be is a good example for me kids. You know, education is the way forward, and I'll make sure, as long as I'm here, that even Tom, when it comes to education, it's a key to unlock doors. You know, how are you, Pablo? And if you want to be a bowsy and a blackguard, you know, knock yourself out. You know, I wish you well in your life, but at the end of the day, we're supposed to set standards for our kids. You know. Pablo, did you watch the documentary? The Grant. I'm on dinner today. She went out and she got a bit of steak. She got a few pork chops, a bit of sirloin, a few sausages, for £15, like 8 burgers, 8 sausages, about 4 bits of steak and about 4 pork chops for like £15, Pablo. You know, I'm looking forward to cooking it because I like cooking, Pablo. You know, I bet you I'd like it the other night, man. I'll tell you one thing, Tottenham wanted them more, you know. But yeah, I'm delighted for you. At least one of us won, you know. So, I'm doing something with Lee right now. I'm not going to mention anything on here, yeah. But myself and Lee Marvin Hitchman is going to do something. We're going to collaborate with a couple of other Irish YouTubers. We're going to open a panel one night. It's probably either going to be on Finn's. It's not going to be on mine. You know, I'll do it on Finn's StreamYard. I know Finn wouldn't mind. You know, at the end of the day, I want people to see Finn's channel. Fuck my channel. My channel will grow in anyway. You know, it's like other small channels like mine. You know what I mean? It's like bringing people together and all that kind of stuff. You know, I'm all for that. You know, I'm not on here for a circus or to insult anybody. I'm just on here to do a community service. To do myself a service. To do me mother and me granny a service. I keep saying this, my dad taught me how to fight. Never give up the fight. And my mother taught me how to love, and so did me granny. And I believe God puts people in your life so you can show them love.
Our most powerful grease cutting formula to effortlessly tackle nasty baked on pans.
But anyway,
with 4 times less
have any of you seen anything decent you can recommend? I've been watching a few things on Netflix, Pablo, with Lisa. I watched something called The Forest and the Secret. Harlan Coben.
And mental strength. Just little kind of defeat. Exactly, little defeat instead of wins. And it just culminates into, I just don't want to be here. I know what darkness looks like. I know what it feels like to be alone, with no motivation, no drive, no passion. For the first 20-some years of my life, it was just darkness. But if you are able to get up every morning, to have no passion, no drive, no motivation, and still get up with that kind of fire, you will be successful in life. I guarantee you that.
Here's the secret to my success. I stood up and did it again. I stood up and I did it again. And I did it again, and I did it again all those many years ago. I did it when I was scared.
Shout out to Australia.
And I did it when I was ill.
Say to yourself, it's not over until I win. There is scars around.
Ding ding. I didn't hear no bell.
We're not meant to go back and fix them. And there's nothing broken with you that needs to be fixed.
compete. If you're competing against other people, you're going to become bitter. Eventually, you'll become bitter. But if you compete against yourself, you'll become better. You know what I mean?
When it feels scary to jump, Ian, that is exactly when you jump. Otherwise, you end up staying in the same place your whole life.
Do it, no matter the squalls. And when the time comes, you get the chance to really test the cut of your sails and show what you're made of.
While they're partying, you're working. While they're
Hands getting better.
sleeping, you're working. While they're at the cinema eating junk food, you're at home healthy, eating organic food, developing your mindset. Why? Not because you're a freak, but because you realize that in order to get to the next level, you must be willing to sacrifice the necessities and the requirements to get to the next level.
You know what? Not today. Maybe tomorrow. Well, guess what? That's why it's so easy to be great nowadays, because most mothers are weak.
If you play it safe, you're gonna exist. You only get to live when you take risk. Ain't no living in safety.
Practice any art. Music, singing, dancing, acting, drawing, painting, sculpture, poetry, fiction, essays, reportage. No matter how well or badly, not to get money and fame, but to experience becoming. To find out what's inside you, to make your soul grow.
If you're serious about change, just know you're going to go through some uncomfortable situations.
Really?
Stop trying to dodge the process, because in the long run, it's going to make you better. And don't forget that you heard?
Like, guys, Pablo's me pal, right? And Pablo's been like a big brother to me, like a mentor in a way. And he's given me a lot of advice and wise words and wisdom over the years, and 95% of the time he's been right. And it's like when I first come on YouTube, I was way out of my fucking depth. I didn't realise how deep the rabbit hole goes, you know, and I got embarrassed on the cesspit one night and exposed, you know, as a fucking drug dealer, and I was like, no, me kids were in there that night, you know. But anyway, I always used to fantasize about having PD in my front garden and knocking him clean out. And I had the opportunity to do it, but when I shook his hand, I know a lot of people think he's a wanker and all, but I tell you one thing, he stood in my front garden like he owned the road. I'm like, bro, you know what? You've got some balls. And Pablo, I've met up with a couple of people on the community, right? Like Jimmy, Zeus, you know Jimmy, who give me the canvases. Pablo, I desecrated them purposely so I couldn't sell them. You know, they're a gift, and I ripped them to bits. You know, but nah, look at Pablo. If you look, there's a few Irish channels that I wasn't aware of. There's a few other Irish people that go in and out of these channels. What Finn's channel is doing is he's attracting a load of people from Dublin, you know, and it's good to see. We need more channels like Finn's. Like I said, Pablo, this was always going to happen. You know, I don't know how comfortable you'd be with this, but I have a suggestion to make. I want to run it by Finn as well, but I see myself, yourself, Finn, Spencer, Mousy, and a couple of others on a panel, dubs. The panel has to be all dubs, or it won't work. To talk about life, family, mental health, recovery, addiction, spirituality, redemption, forgiveness. accountability for our actions. You know, this was always going to happen with me. I just needed to light a couple of fires here and there because the English channels control the narrative on YouTube. And the sad thing about it is there's a lot of greedy pigs on YouTube that are being charged. Sorry, there's a lot. Let me rephrase that. There's a lot of channels on YouTube who charge people membership and don't even make a short for them. And people say to me, I'm mad. Like, why would you pay money to a channel that doesn't do nothing for you or doesn't affect your growth? You know, if you're a YouTube channel, a small one, especially for mental health, and you want to know how to grow your channel, contact me on Instagram and I'll give you 5 steps to follow, yeah? And if you follow them, it's like I reckon that you have a good chance of growing a channel. You know, your channel's not going to grow on its own. And here, afraid of your own shadow, you bought about 120,000 of them subs. You fucking joke, are you? I done it the hard way. We don't buy subs or fucking anything like that over here. I couldn't give a cunt about the like button. Fuck the like button. And like I said, Pablo helped me with my mental health, never mind me channel, me life, you know. I was at the having about 4 crashes and Pablo's like, bro, if you were to get that money, you'd have fucking buying a bike, man. And ended up hitting a wall. And he wasn't wrong. I would have. You know, what good is money to you then if you're dead? But, so Pablo helped me, Ronan helped me, so I said I'm going to help a couple of Irish people. You know, one being Finn, without a doubt. You know, he's just a character, you know, I see it in him. You know, he fits the criteria to be a good content creator. All he needs to do is to make a shitload of shorts every day. I mean 20, 30 if you have to. You know, that's how you grow channel. I stole loads of subs. I went into loads of channels, said hello to everybody, being respectful, sub to that channel, told them I sub to that channel. And 75% of the people that I sub to that channel and told them I sub to that channel, sub back to mine. It's called networking. Might go fishing later. Me baby and that. Fuck off. Yeah, well, I think time, Pablo, it's just like wine. It matures over time. You know, like I walked away from Dublin with my life and I'm gonna get to talk about it. You know, you see, I have a certain group of friends all around the city that have said to me, bro, give me a mention in that book, will you? And I was like, listen, I'm writing me book, and anybody, any tough guy I've ever been around, I'll write about them, you know. And there's about 20 people that have died in Dublin gangland who was affiliated to. About 5 of them were friends. The rest of them were more acquaintances than friends. And I'll get to write about it. You know, like Pablo, it's very sensitive, you know, because it's like, as you know, I've got a lot of high profile friends and family. I never thought I'd ever even think about or imagine that Jude MacDonald from Cherry Orchard Avenue could be an author one day, write a book about growing up in Gallenstown, growing up in the Avenue, growing up around some of Dublin's high profile people with nicknames without saying too much. I grew up with certain families, you know, we all grew up with certain families. Myself, Spencer, Yowzer, Ian Gibbons, you know, we grew up around people like Gibbo for me and Yowzer were two of the toughest guys, like, at the time. If God was to come down now and say, right, Jude, I want you to pick your own ASU, I'd say, right, I've already picked it. I'd have Ian Gibbons as me 6. You know, he survived 3 assassination attempts. He's solid. Then I'd pick Neil Douglas. Then obviously I'd pick myself. I'd pick Deco Lyons. And if he was alive, I'd pick Rusty Grendon to lead that ASU. He's my superior officer. I'd listen to him. And there's consequences and repercussions if you do not follow protocol, procedure and orders. There is what you call parliamentary procedure. If you do not follow a direct order, that's insubordination. You know, there's punishments for that. But I'll write about it because I'm brave enough to do it. It's just like, all I need is a publisher, you know, that I can sit down with and talk to him about what I've seen through my eyes in my lifetime. Not in me head or me heart, through me eyes. Full disclosure. Full disclosure, yeah. I'm gonna write about me ma. I'm gonna write about me dad. This morning we spoke. I shared something on Facebook, Pablo. Yeah. Like I said, Pablo, I don't have long. And while I'm on here, it's like a relay. Mousie's ahead of that race. I'd be honest with you, bro, up until last year, I hadn't got a clue who Mousy was. Then I started watching his content and I was like, I fucking love this guy and his stuff. You know, he goes out there every day, he's a patriot, you know, he's a comrade. You know, I'm proud of him and what he does, you know, and that's why I put his PayPal on my community page, because there's a lot of people out there that watch channels. Here, this guy doesn't ask for anything, but donate £1 or buy him a coffee or whatever, you know. It's appreciated. Like, you know, content creators that are independent, it's very hard to make money on YouTube. And I don't blame Mousy and a couple of others for charging £1 or £2 a month. There's nothing wrong with that. They work hard. How are you, Jordan? You know, and it's like, I'm part of this community, and years ago, Pablo, I used to spend £83 a month. I used to be a member of Jerry's channel, fighting Irish for £5 a month. I was a member of Ronan's channel. I was a member of the Cesspit. I was a member of fucking this channel, that channel, and bought them coffee and supported them. And you know what? Not one of them motherfuckers has returned the gesture, but it's all right. You know, like I said, I've got the potential to write a fucking master plan. Honestly, you know, you imagine, right? I'm gonna start chapter 1, the matchstick. At 4 years old, I lit a match that ended up that day. I got out. My brother and sister died that day. I'm gonna write about that too. You see, all that bottled up inside for all them years. And then when I got into me 40s, I start getting really unwell to the point where I was taken into hospital. And it wasn't voluntary. I hadn't got a chance. I know, but Pablo, it's the only way to bury it. You know, I'm burying me past. I know, but Pablo, this time, I'm stronger. You know, and I'm gonna have help, Pablo. I won't be doing it on my own, but I'm ready, bro. It's time. You know, I'm ready. I'm 50, bro. I'm ready to face it. You know, I'd be a hypocrite otherwise.
Steve. Sorry, we remembered you need these electrolytes for job and town. See, tasty.
We're right behind you. Next up,
Exactly, and I'm gonna write about that too. Pablo, I'm sitting on a belter.
I need you to know that you're enough. I need you to know that you're qualified. I need you to know that all you have is all you need. You are an unrepeatable miracle, and there is none like you in all of the earth. And if nobody told you today, let me be the first to tell you, there is none like you in all of the earth. Your DNA, your footprint, your fingerprint, your purpose, your calling, your destiny, your mindset, your mentality. And I'm just wondering if you are bold enough and courageous enough to believe what I'm saying. You are enough. And the truth of the matter is, what you think is pain, what you think is hurting you, is actually helping you. And I'm just wondering if maybe you could just change the way that you think. Maybe if you could just see this thing differently. I know they left you, they hurt you, it left you, it hurt you. And you feel like you're just in this place where you can't move forward. See it differently. You've been too focused on the people that don't like you, the people that don't support you, the people that told you to write the book, and then when you released it, they never bought it. You've been too focused on the past childhood traumas. You've been too focused on who was not there for you and who did not believe in you, and the people that just said it but didn't do it. The trauma, the anxiety, and I'm wondering if you can begin to shift that focus in the next 30 days, if you can begin to shift that focus on what's working in your life, what's within your control, and not what's outside of your control. What can you control? Who can you influence? The first person that needs to be influenced in your life is you. It's you. And I'm just wondering if you're courageous enough, bold enough, if you have enough faith, come on, if you have enough inside of you resilience to come back to the scene. It starts with me and the man upstairs, and it ends right here. Our lives don't get better by chance. They get better by change. Change is one of the necessary laws of life. Remember this. Action and adaptability create opportunity. Adapt and overcome, and watch everything change before your eyes. Adaptability isn't just some secret for survival. It is the power to build the future. Adaptability is the capacity to be modified for a new purpose, to be moved this way
and still punch through targets and reach my goals and be everything I've been called to be, but I've got to adapt to the times. Adaptability requires movement. Adaptability requires growth. Adaptability requires wisdom and knowledge and understanding and revelation and awareness. We've got to be able to recognize when we're outdated, when we need an upgrade, when we've got to go to that next level, and I can't be embarrassed about it. Adaptability is not buckling under pressure. Adaptability is understanding that in order for me to have this lifestyle that I see in my head, I'm going to have to raise my standards. This is an adjustment. This is a modification that in times past, this version of me was good enough, but it only got me where I am. And in order for me to go to that next level, something inside of me has to change. So when you face storm, when you face adversity, when you face trial, when you face tribulation, in the eye of the storm, in the middle, in the core of your devastation, when you are faced with opposition, that's when you raise the heat. You don't change your message, you change your methodology. Are you understanding me? Adaptability is not buckling under pressure. Adaptability is not losing your moral compass. Adaptability is raising your voice. And so the harder life hits me, the harder I'm going to fight, the harder I'm going to believe, the harder I'm going to keep pushing, I'm going to keep going, I will persevere, and I'm going to build resilience. And so the harder life hits, the stronger I get. You've got problem-solving skill. You've got a resilience. You have a determination. You have a measure of commitment that nobody in the room has because you've been able to adapt. But for many of us, we are in the halftime of our destiny. And if you're going to win, you are going to have to make the adjustments, the necessary modifications to have your future.
What you give me a hard time for? Hey. It's like meditation, you know.
We must be smart.
Did you watch that pile of shit the other night? It's called meditation.
When I become more flexible, more agile, more adaptable, another thing that happens is that we build our inner resilience. And this isn't just about honing in on your problem-solving skills, but resilience literally changes your brain. It changes your operating systems. It shifts your behavior. Resilience empowers you to build new habits. It's not running from your programming. It's upgrading.
That's what I'm working on,
to the next level. The necessary growth strategies.
It's hard to reset your clock.
Modification, personality adjustment,
But I found a way.
attitude upgrades. The necessary. The wise adapt themselves to the circumstances, like water molds itself to the pitcher. To understand the revelation of adaptability is to realize that life is lived on levels. I've got angles, I've got approaches, that destiny is in the details. It's how I see this thing. It's how I can adjust my thinking. It's how I can upgrade my inter software.
How's the man, Pablo?
You gotta sit back and think to yourself, you know what? I've been here too long. I've thought like this too long. I've hurt too long. I've been fractured long enough. I've been depressed long enough. You know what?
Pablo.
I've been here too long. It's time for me to go.
Pablo, how are you, Shane? Pablo, you seen how I was a few years ago, right? You know, I was a fucking train wreck. Do you understand? It's like, and sometimes it's hard to figure shit out, you know, because as men, we're fucking stubborn and we're belligerent and there's no talking to us. And what I've learned in life, that I should have listened to grown-ups and teachers and coaches and peers and mentors. Now, I did listen to a lot of them. It's just like when I walked away at 21, I had to bury my ego in Dublin on a railway line, you know, where there's loads of bricks and stuff, empty cans of Coke and rats and bushes and empty beer kegs and all kinds of shit. No, but I will be next week, Shane. I'm going fishing. I'm going trout fishing next week. Me lad doesn't know where we're going, but I have a spot that every single time I've gone, I've always caught trout. It's just like I'm not fly fishing. These love maggots. It's in the River Medlock. You know, the water's only about 4 feet deep. You can see them grabbing it. You know, it's like, but I might go later on for half an hour, and I have this feeling that I'm gonna catch a bream, a big one. I don't know what it is today. Something's saying to me, go fishing, Jude. Go fishing today. Football's over. Man United has let us all down. Bruno Fernandes, I hope you're happy with yourself, you little Portuguese midget. You know, I love Bruno, but he didn't turn up that night. What's the point in doing a huddle and then not even scoring a fucking goal? You know, oh nah, what's your name? You better see him, send him back to wherever he come from. Where did that cunt come from? And don't be smart. Good. I hope he fucking stays there. You know, he's fucking rubbish, he is. You know, the other night, Pablo, he wasn't committed. You know, it's like he looked nervous, do you understand? And that goal, it was the worst goal that could ever win a cup final, you'll see. You know, but United didn't show up. You know, like, he took a gamble putting Luke Shaw on the back three. You know, it's like, I knew when I seen the team sheet and Garnacho wasn't in the team, I'm like, you know, like, don't get me wrong, I like Mason Mount and I like fucking like Xerxes and what have you and all, but I think it was too late. You know, it's like I'm looking and the clock's going down. Well, listen, if you have to rely on Harry Maguire to save you, well, then you are fucked. You know, I'm not gonna lie, Pablo, I'm fucking devastated, you know. I'm glad one of us won. You know, I bet you are over the fucking moon, and I bet the first thing you are thinking of was giving me stick. So that's why I made a video to congratulate you first. Like I said, this season I've seen a lot of schoolboy errors. You know, you'd see in some Sunday league games they play better than that, you know, but at the end of the day, you can't just blame Harry. You know, it's an 11-man game, you know, and they're not good enough, you know. If you can't beat Aston Villa, mate, you're fucked. If you can't beat Bournemouth, if you can't, you know, it's like I'm just so fucking over it. You know, but it's going to be a long season for me because there's no European football. You know, and it's sad as a football fan because you want to see your team. Well, Pablo, thanks for coming in. I've like 10 minutes and then I'm away. I'm gonna make something nice. Lisa got this pack for £15 where you get a little bit of sirloin, a few pork chops, a few sausages, and a few burgers. You know, £15. You can't. Right, so for 15 quid, you get that. Is that worth it? You get 6 burgers, 8 sausages, some pork chops, and a bit of steak. Do you reckon it is, Pablo? Do you reckon that's worth it? 15 quid. You get 6 burgers, you get 8 sausages, you get some pork chops, and you get some sirloin. Yeah, but Pablo, you know who's cooking, don't you? You know something? Do you want to know a secret? I love cooking. I enjoy cooking. You know, once upon a time, I remember being a pot washer in this place, and I was like a pot washer / kitchen porter, and I did it for about 8-9 months, and then they took me on, you know, and I thought it was great, Pablo, you know, getting me chef whites and all, like, fucking, he's like, bro, listen, you're part of my team. You're not washing pots anymore. I want you to help me. He said, I need a high volume of lobsters producing. Can you do it for me? I said, of course I can. He said, how long do you reckon it'll take you? I said, how much is that? He said to me, 2,500 kilo. I'm like, what? He said, I've got 2,500 lobster outside on a pallet, just come in at 6 o'clock in the morning. How long would it take you to do the 2 pallets? I said, I don't know. I've not timed myself, so I timed myself. It took me 2 hours, 46 minutes to do 2.5 kg of lobster. Pablo was simple. You just imagine that's the lobster there, right? You grab it, right? You just put it down, you get your knife, back of the head, you know where the 2 eyes are, just here. Boom, it kills them straight away into the tank. Bang, 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 bang. You get into a rhythm, you know. Bang, bang, in the tank. But like I said, look at here, you can't go wrong, right? So a bit of steak, a few pork chops, a few sausages, and 8 big fuck off burgers. Yeah. Well, like I said, I won't be opening all of it. I'm gonna freeze some of it in a bit, you know. Later on today I'm gonna have a big fuck off burger, toast me buns, you know, and then later on I'm gonna have a bit of sirloin, and I'm gonna have a bit of an egg on me sirloin, you know. Shout out to Ian Gibbons. Shout out to Ian Gibbons. If you're watching me, bro, listen to me. Come on. Let's talk about God. Let's talk about growth. Let's talk about forgiveness. I'll never truly forgive you. Ever. On one condition. You come on the channel to talk about growth, near misses, and God. How about that? You see, you're going in this book too, you ginger cunt. You know, I'll never forget the day you fucking walked on that railway line and seen the expression on your face when you seen me on me knees with blood coming out of everywhere. I seen the life drain out of me, didn't know it was me. You know, and then he was told to bounce. And there was nothing else he could do, you know. But I've always got a contingency plan. I always think ahead. You know. But I'm gonna make some nice burgers. I'll have the sausages tomorrow. It's like, and I'll have a bit of steak maybe tonight or tomorrow. But at the minute it's very hard to chew. I've nothing here, you know. So, like I said, I'm going out to prep me dinner now, guys. So I hope you all have a good day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. 1. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. I'm gonna go cook something because I'm fucking starving. So thanks everyone for coming in, and I'll see you later on. I'm sorry about the start of the live. I didn't even know I was fucking live. But I'm gonna go now, and I think I'm gonna make me and me missus a burger, a big fucking burger, like, and you have to cook them well. So I'm gonna cook them under the grill. I'm gonna get an onion. I'm gonna get me buns. I'm gonna toast them. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some grated cheese. I'm gonna put it on my burger, you know, and then I'm gonna slaughter it. And then I've got goodies for after it. You know, me yogurts, Muller yogurts. Yeah, I've about 12 of them. I've about 40 ice lollies. You know, so I'm gonna watch a few things on Netflix with the missus. I hope you all enjoy a Saturday, guys, you know. Thanks for coming in, everyone. Pablo, Jordan, Lena, all the locals, you know. Shane as well, yeah. So, like I said, sometime next week, I'm gonna ask Finn to do a StreamYard on his live and try dive on it for an hour and get a couple of other Irishmen to come on. Pablo, would you jump on? You don't have to show your face. You know, you make me look bad. You're more handsome than I am, but you have to be careful with my channel and my team. You know, it's like, because everything is about the team, and nobody on this channel is bigger than the team, not even me. And the rules apply to me too. You know, right here, I'm going to make a burger. Thanks for coming in, and we are away. Boom.